All right. Hello and welcome. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. And thank you for tuning in today, everybody on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. Thank you all so much for being here. It's a beautiful morning here on the 12th of January, 2023. So thanks for being here. Welcome to another episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Today our topic is going to be answering the question, can I travel in the U.S. with an immigration case pending? All right? And how can I do that? What's the best way to do that? All right? And so thanks for everyone who asked their questions. I will discuss the topic, and then we'll answer any questions that anyone has. If you have a question, please send it over. Okay? And so, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. So hello and welcome. And remember, at the Empowered Immigrant Live, we are here to train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants to make the most out of immigration laws and to make the most out of their lives. All right? And today our theme is, can I travel in the U.S. with an immigration case pending? How do I do that? We'll talk about that. And my question for you is, do you want to get a green card? Do you want to get a green card this year? Is this year your year? 2023, here we are, right? Because if so, go for it. All right, and I'd love to help you with that. My firm's on a mission to win 10,000 immigration cases in the next 10 years, and we would love for your case to be one of them. Okay? And so thanks to everyone who asked their questions. We'll discuss this, as always, first in English, and then we'll stop this video, and then we'll start another live session, and we'll do it in Spanish. Okay? So thanks for being here, and welcome. And as always, I like to start out with a little empowerment tip. All right, this is the Empowered Immigrant Live, so I want to give a little empowerment tip for everybody. We're here in 2023, and my question for you is, what do you want to create this year, 2023? Do you want to create something new for yourself? And what I encourage people to do is to really take a moment and reflect on what happened last year so that you can learn from it and then make changes. Aristotle, right, philosopher, Aristotle says that wisdom is one of the highest virtues, and he says that wisdom comes from experience plus reflection, all right? Experience plus reflection. And Socrates says that the well-examined life is the life worth living, right? And so it's like you want to reflect on your experiences. And something you might not, maybe I've never shared this before, maybe I have, I don't know. In my firm, right? So the question for you is, how do you reflect on your experiences? In my firm, every three months, every quarter, every 90 days, we take a break, all right? We close our office down. We do not take appointments that day. We don't take calls that day, all right? It's happening next Friday for us. And we look at our experience over the last 3 months, or when it's in January, we do it for the past year, and we reflect on where we're going for the year ahead, and what have we learned from the past. And it's for the purpose of growing wiser, stronger, healthier as an organization. And so my tip today is to just encourage you to take some time today, this weekend, whatever, look back at your experiences from the past year and really take a moment to reflect on them. What went well? What didn't go well? What decisions did you try that worked well? What decisions did you try that didn't work well? What could you have done differently? It'll help set the foundation for a better year in 2023. All right? And if you create a habit of doing this, then hey, you can always have a better tomorrow than you had today because you're always improving. All right? Take that on. Hope it was helpful. Thanks. If it was helpful, hey, let us know. All right? And if it wasn't helpful, let us know that too. Hey, that's great. So now I'm going to switch gears. We'll talk about immigration law. I want to start with two announcements. All right? First announcement, January 4th. USCIS announced a proposal to increase the price, increase the fees with that immigration will charge for their filing fees. Okay? And I'll do a full training separately where I really break it down. What is that proposal and all, I mean, it's not going to be relevant until the proposal actually gets implemented, but still it's good to look at because you might want to be aware of it. But here's the thing. They're doing a notice and comment period for 60 days. That's 2 months, all right? And so the recommendation, the advice is if you want to, if you have an immigration case, heck, you might be well advised to file your case in the next 60 days so that you can take advantage of current prices before the fees go up, and some of them are growing up dramatically depending on which type of case you have. Okay? Something to think about. If you are considering filing an immigration application, I encourage you to not wait, and instead let's see if we can file now in the next 2 months before the fee increase. Got it? Second announcement. On January 6th, so I think it was last Friday, the Biden administration announced a new parole program. We've seen this under the Uniting for Ukraine program for people fleeing the Ukraine-Russia war. And now the administration has announced a new program for Nicaragua, Cuba, Venezuela, and Haiti. All right? And so if you are interested in sponsoring a person who you know, or a family or a group of people that you know in Nicaragua, Cuba, Venezuela, or Haiti, now they are welcoming those requests and those applications, and I'll do more trainings about those, but that's a big announcement, so you'll want to be aware of it, okay? Those are my only two announcements for today. Now I want to jump into the topic. The topic is, can I travel in the U.S. with an immigration case pending? Here's the way it works, all right? If you entered the U.S. unlawfully, if you overstayed a visa, all right, then technically you have some risk of deportation, right? You are quote-unquote deportable under the Immigration Nationality Act. The way that works, though, is that, there's some risk there that you could be caught and you could be given or mailed a notice to appear to initiate removal proceedings in immigration court. Now, so that's the basics, right? I think everybody's aware of that. Now, that risk, though, is larger in some states in the United States, and that risk is smaller in other states. Okay? You might be able to guess. It's a little bit of a red-blue difference, all right? Some states are riskier for immigrants and for immigration enforcement. Other states are much more immigrant-friendly and much more immigrant-welcoming. Okay? Also, it's important to note that the risk of being caught and sent a notice to appear, things like that, is larger in certain places than in others. Okay? For example, it's larger in the airport. If you're going to travel within the U.S. and if you're going to travel by plane, it's more likely that there's immigration customs officials in an airport that they might ask to review certain documents. All right? It's also riskier within 50 miles of any border. So you got to know these things. These are basics. All right? Within 50 miles of the U.S. border, they often have immigration checkpoints. They can stop people randomly and ask people for their immigration documents. You got to know it. Okay? So there's that. But then imagine that you, overstayed your visa or you entered the U.S. unlawfully, right? But now you're applying for something, right? It hasn't been approved yet, but you're applying, you're in the process of applying for something. Maybe asylum or DACA or TPS or adjustment of status, or you married a US citizen and now you're filing for a green card, whatever it is, you're applying for some benefit. Or imagine you're now in removal proceedings because they've sent you that notice to appear and you're fighting your case in immigration court. The question is, and we get this question a lot, can I go to some other state? Can I go to Chicago? Can I go to Atlanta? Can I go to Phoenix? And can I go to Boston? And can I visit my friend, cousin, uncle, aunt, parent, sister, brother in some other state? All right? The answer is yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do it. All right? You might not have a valid driver's license in that state because only the real ID driver's license can be used in other states. So maybe you can't drive to another state, like literally be the person driving, but you could certainly be the passenger in a car that drives, that goes to another state. You could also take a bus, you could also take a train, things like that. Okay? So then the question is, okay, well, what are the risks of doing that if I've got some application pending? Well, so the best advice there, if you're applying for asylum or if you're in removal proceedings or if you've got, something coming up, the best advice is to carry with you, take with you your receipt notices, the notices that immigration sends, or your hearing notices, right? So that you could show any official who started to ask questions exactly where your case is at. All right? And that's the best advice for traveling to other parts of the United States within the country. Don't leave the country. Don't leave the US with a case pending. Often if you leave while your case is pending, now your case becomes abandoned automatically. So don't leave the US, but if you want to go to a different state inside the US, the best thing to do is to travel with your receipt notices, with proof that you have a pending application. There's, in my experience, that's a very, very important thing to be able to show to an officer. Officer, yes, I overstayed my visa. Yes, I entered unlawfully, but don't be alarmed. I am in the process of applying for XYZ benefit. Oh, and by the way, here's my attorney. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions about this, please contact my attorney. That's the best way to do it, right? Okay, so that's it. That's basically everything that I wanted to communicate today. So thanks for being here. And again, my name's Otis Landerholm. You've tuned in here for the Empowered Immigrant Live. So thank you so much for being here with me today. Now I want to answer your questions. I think I've just received one question today from Johnny. So Johnny, thank you so much for submitting your question. And if anybody's listening to me right now, and if you have a question, please submit it. All right. And so Johnny, you ask, an individual came to the U.S. as a tourist. She wants to stay here and work past her 6 months that were allowed in her stay. Is there a way that she could stay and work? Thanks. Okay. So let me say this. So Johnny, here's the way a tourist visa works. A tourist visa really is for the purpose of coming in, visiting a few sites, or going to Disneyland or whatever, and then going back to a person's home country. All right? And so a tourist visa does not allow a person to work. And the types of visas that allow for work authorization are very restricted. They're very limited. It's limited by the Department of Labor and other things. They don't want to, they don't allow for that. All right? And so actually, if your friend overstayed her tourist visa or worked in the U.S., now her visa will be canceled and she will automatically become quote-unquote deportable. Okay? So the better advice is to let's have a consultation and let's look at maybe is there some other option, asylum, U visa, TPS, DACA, marriage-based case, adjustments of status. Is there some other option that she could change out of tourist visa status and apply for something else? And maybe that other thing might come with work authorization. Got it? And so that's the, anyway, that's the way it works. So Johnny, thank you for asking that. I see a question coming through here on Instagram. Let's see, Testa Ruda Becha. Did I say that right? Hello. So you're asking your question in Spanish, and I'm right now recording this in English. So let me do the best I can, and then I'll also answer this question in Spanish too. So hello, thank you for being here. Your question is, hola, quería saber si puedo traer mi primo de Nicaragua, pero soy solo residente. ¿Cómo le podría yo ayudar con la nueva ley? Ayuda, por favor. Okay, awesome. So your question is, hello, I want to know how I can bring my cousin in from Nicaragua. I'm a legal resident. I want to know how I can help him with this new law. Thank you. So here's the answer, all right? You can sponsor your cousin, all right? It doesn't have to be under the old laws. To sponsor somebody for a green card, you have to be the spouse, parent, son, or daughter, or brother or sister if it's a U.S. citizen. But spouse, parent, son, or daughter of a permanent resident, and that's it. Cousins don't work, all right? But under this new program, you're not petitioning for a green card for your cousin, but you'd be petitioning to bring him in on parole. You can do that, all right? So Testa Ruda, yeah, you can do that. Lo puede hacer, okay? So the way to do that is on Form I-134A, all right? And the information about how to do that is on uscis.gov. It's on the USCIS website. But if you want help, I recommend having a lawyer help you with this. And if you want help, please contact our office. We'd love to help you, all right? Or send us your email or whatever. We can contact you and we can follow up with you. Send us your phone number. We'll call you today, okay? And so, so that's the way that works. I hope that was helpful. Hope that was useful. All right, you guys, it's 10:32. I got to wrap up, and I got to do this in Spanish. So let's do that. And thank you all so much for being here. So a couple of things, right? If today's episode was useful, as always, please subscribe to our channel in YouTube. All right. And when you do that, please also click the notifications bell in YouTube, so that way you can see additional news, updates, whatever, whenever we update another video. All right. And if you have an immigration case, hey, please give us a call. We are here to help. We would love to help. All right. Johnny, thank you for asking your question. Testa Ruda Becha. I like your name. Gracias. I see you there. Thank you for being there. Firlesa, hello on Instagram. Everybody else on Instagram, hello. Thanks for being here. Everybody on TikTok, hello. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Thank you all so much. All right. We'll see you next week on our next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. I'm your host, Otis Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.